Welcome to another edition of Crypto with Kamal. I'm Kamal Hubbard, and we're broadcasting from the Swap in Milwaukee, Wisconsin during ICP CC24. And I'm joined now with Adam McCoy, Community Relations here at the Swap. You're the Community Relations Manager, excuse me. So tell me everything that is wrapped up in your position and your capacity here at the Swap.
So, community relations manager is a relatively newer position that's seen more in the digital age with interacting directly with communities and, as you put it in a conversation earlier, being more of a liaison to people. So, truly and in depth understanding the needs of the community, what they're reverberating, and how they feel, what they're thinking, because that's a crucial part of Web3 is that you need to be able to understand your audience. You need to be able to communicate with them. You need to know what they want, what they need. And I feel like that's a crucial element that's left out of a lot of Web3, whether it's communities or blockchains or just ecosystems in general, is that the people don't seem to be a focus. A lot of people are there for the money, they're there for the technology, but it seems like community takes it takes a, it gets pushed off to the side. And that always frustrated me. So I met Kyle through, who's the CEO of the Swap and the founder. I met him through my brother Daniel McCoy, who's the chief technical officer for the Swap, and I started working with Kyle. I believe it was last January or February, and I saw that Kyle and the Swap had great potential where, they're very involved with the internet computer ecosystem, and they seem to be one of the few groups of people who was actually trying to make a charge with the community saying, hey, we're going to keep you updated. We're going to show you what's fun, what's exciting. We're going to show you how to participate with the ecosystem. And I feel like that was something that wasn't done very often, not just on the internet computer, but just, as I said before, understanding your community, getting in depth, and really wanting to know what makes them tick and what they have to say. Because to me, in Web3, if you don't have community, if you have everything else, the tech and the money and um, all these very intelligent individuals, you don't have anybody to participate with it. You don't have any users. You don't have any audience. You're, speaking into the void more so. So that's kind of what comprises my role within the swap is I go to a lot of in-person conferences. I talk on spaces. I get to know the community very well. I get to know other ecosystems and understand them to see how we can best um, market and translate what we're doing to the greater, Web3 ecosystems.
You've been in this Web3 space for a while. You participate pretty actively on Twitter X and their
Whatever
spaces.
you want to call it these days. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I just want to do both because why not? And so, can you tell us a little bit more about some of the other spaces you participate in outside of the swap, and what do you kind of take away from those other places and bring to the swap in terms of making it better?
So when it comes to, going out into uh, the, I guess the greater spaces ecosystem, I like the word ecosystem if you can't tell, going out into more spaces and being able to, uh, you know, navigate them, understand what they're about, and whether it's diving in to learning about another blockchain, learning about an NFT community, um, whether it's talking about news media and politics, whether it's talking about philosophy and spiritualism. There's a lot of very interesting things out there, and that is one of the beneficial things I'll say about Web 2 in its current ethos is that I have very much enjoyed Spaces because I feel like it's the closest thing that we have to being able to participate in Web3 while still being in Web 2.
Mm.
So there's a lot that can be taken back, but I take that back to the swap where, the swap, we try to focus, not only on the chain we initially, that we started with and are still with, which is the internet computer, but Kyle is like me that he believes in chain agnosticism where, all of these blockchains have the ability to build onto each other.
Right.
So when you go into these spaces and you listen to people speak about their other ecosystems. How's your NFT market? What's your algorithmic consensus model look like? What are the gas fees? Being able to learn about these other chains and then bring that back to a community of people to say, hey, this is also out there. We want to make you aware of this. And that's the amazing thing about blockchains these days is, um, you know, Web3 ends up being all of us together, unity, consensus. That's part of the principles of Web3 in my mind. So it's nice to be able to learn how to build off of other chains, build off of other ecosystems, work with other projects, collaborate. And when you go out into the greater ecosystem, whether it's spaces or you're learning how to use somebody's blockchain, you're able to divulge a lot of information you wouldn't have normally gotten if you were just focusing on one chain. And that's the really nice thing about coming from the internet computer ecosystem is that I started there just after my brother did. My brother Daniel was actually the one who brought me into Web3, and the internet computer was the first chain that I learned about, and I was absolutely fascinated with it. And something I take pride in doing myself is going out into these other communities and not only learning about what they have to share, but trying to show what the internet computer and the people there, what they're building, what they have to offer, because there doesn't have to be this tribalism in Web3 where we're all against each other. My chain's better than
Right.
your chain. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like that because ideally there are positives and negatives to every chain out there. We just need
Mm.
to figure out how we can correlate them to best benefit everybody within the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So to further answer your question, going out there and exploring all of these different things, whether it's talking to musicians, politicians, media personalities, all of them can do what they're doing on the blockchain. And if they're on a different blockchain, we can do it together.